So today, for our first segment, I think it's important that we talk about my first and probably the best thing I do as a pediatrician, and that's about our newborns. Because many of us, we have children and we're trying to figure out what is it exactly that we need to know, because they don't come with a manual, they don't come with a script. We have to sit and try to figure out what is it that we need to know. And so as you prepare for your child, as you carry and bring them into this world, we have to prepare ourselves with prayer, we have to prepare ourselves in our homes with safety. We have to learn and trust God and trust ourselves that we'll do the right thing for this child. This child did not pick to come into this world. We decided we were going to have a child, and we have to then make that child the first thing in our lives. As far as when we make decisions to buy a house, what are the schools like? Make a decision to buy a car, how safe it is for my child. So all these things become into play. So the things that I think that are important as you guys go and pick your pediatrician is the first topic of what we're going to talk about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what are the questions, probably the 3 top questions you want to ask? Well, I think you need to interview at least 3 or 4 practices to find out if they work for you. Because some are real large and some are small, and some you can reach the pediatrician right away, and others it's almost impossible. So accessibility may be important to you, but seeing the same doctor might also be important to you. So these are the questions you want to ask as you go into your interview. Secondly, you want to find out about, availability. My child's sick. Can I get in to see someone? Do you have telemedicine? Can we in 3 o'clock in the morning when my child has fever, can I call and talk to someone? And so these things become important as well. And then we get into some of the other questions about, vaccinations, which become a big thing ever since the pandemic started. A lot of people are like questioning the validity of vaccines. Do we need them? Are they harmful? And all these things. What I would ask respectfully is that, and I might even do a whole video on just vaccinations, because, it's important to understand that we've got to understand that these vaccines are what brought us through the pandemic. Whether you are someone who believes in vaccines or doesn't believe in vaccines, the fact that majority of Americans were vaccinated and or had disease, now the disease is flat, has reached its nadir. So what we can be thankful for that. And I think sometimes we don't see the disease firsthand, so we don't understand it. So what I would ask before you said no to any vaccine is just simply do an inventory. Do an investigation. Find out first, what is the disease like? How bad is that? Then ask yourself, well, what's the problem with the vaccine? And then thirdly, what is the chance of my child getting the disease if they're unvaccinated? So just like a simple thing, we could just do this with the flu, for example. The flu, you're sending your child to school. There's high flu activity at school, and you're questioning whether you should vaccinate. Well, the chance of your child getting sick is high. The problems, complications from the flu is high. Where there's minimal complications from the flu and shot. So that becomes a very easy decision. Yeah, get the flu shot. The harder one, I think, is when your child doesn't go to daycare, isn't exposed, and therefore the risk and the benefit may not offset each other. So I think that sometimes we've got to recognize that, and that may not be for everyone, but at the same point, we need to at least do those things that will protect our community as a whole. Because vaccination really is a communal project that if you don't vaccinate, you're putting other lives and other people in danger. Now, who am I to say that? Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. B. Many people know me by Dr. B. And what I wanted to talk about to you is why am I even qualified to talk about this with you? Well, I've been doing pediatrics for 20 years. Shout out to the HBCUs. I went to Morehouse and to Howard University. Shout out to Christ Hospital Medical Center, Hope Children's Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, on the South Side. These are the folks that shaped my mind and prepared me to come and give me the experience, the 20 years worth of experience in pediatrics, to come and talk to you about these issues. I want to see things from both sides of the aisle. I don't want to just preach to you about what I think, but what the community, the medical community thinks. So it's important that as we go through these subjects, as we talk about these things, that if you want to, you can post, you can let me know what subjects you want to talk about. You can say, hey man, you don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. I don't mind. But I just, as long as you listen to what I'm saying respectfully and you disagree or don't disagree, that's fine. But I just wanted to start with those things this visit. And I think next time we want to talk about, the asthma and ADHD. We want to talk about depression. We want to talk about subjects that hit home, learning disabilities, autism, vaccinations. There are a lot of different subjects that I think we should talk about. And as we go through each of these things, I think it's important that we sit down around the kitchen table and we discuss it. Thank you for listening. And listen, we're gonna have more subjects. And if you want subjects, then you can just hit me up and we'll go through them. Okay? It's not gonna end here.
What is the barracks?
If you've got things you want to talk about, we'll talk about them. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time around the kitchen table.